So,
So
welcome.
I think maybe, go ahead.
Okay, welcome to today's Satsang, and we're very happy to be in Holland with all these wonderful devotees of this beautiful, beautiful ashram in Holland that I've been posting pictures of for the last several days. And now you can hear some of the stories of how it got started. And please let me know if there's more people that I should be spotlighting in this particular moment, that we can change it around. So, Bole Baba Ki Jai, thank you, Bhaskar, Raghu, Pujari, everybody that.
We try to both. It's as loud as possible. Yeah, okay.
Bole Baba Ki Jai.
Yeah, Ramloti, there is maybe one more spotlight. There is a group of devotees sitting in the kitchen of the ashram, and that is the iPad from class.
Okay.
If you can, then you have another group of people, because some people are in the temple, close to Babaji's seat,
Great.
and then there's a group in the kitchen.
Great. And then as people speak, like,
It's true.
yay. When Karkuli speaks, then we'll spotlight her and whoever is. So,
Right.
Jay. Welcome, Holland.
Thank you. Well, I think a main point to start is that Raghu just wrote something about it, that I think it's almost now 40 years ago that Buri started the temple on Babaji's order. Babaji gave her a pillow from Babaji's Asan and sent her to Holland to start a temple, or to start a temple in her house and to organize the devotees. So from there it started, but maybe Raghuvi wants to speak a little bit about that, because that was 40 years ago. That's a long time ago. So, well, I can continue. Then we had in one of her house in the Kinkerstraat, we had for a long time an Aarti circle where we went once a week and did Aarti. Then they moved to the Valentijnkade, very beautiful name. I think they still live there. And there downstairs we had like a temple room where we gathered and sang Aarti. And then slowly we moved with Havans to Drenthe. And after some time, we moved to Den Haag, and the place from Paramananda and Bhaskarananda. They did a transcendental meditation center. We had some Havans there. And then it moved to the back of my house in The Hague, where I had 2 record shops. And then from there, we decided now it's time to really achieve the ashram. And then from there, the energy went to Lune. So many people are involved. A big part, because Bhaskar I know from Den Haag, he was this in the Transcendental Meditation Center, the manager, together with Frides, who just left the body some time ago, and Paramananda. But I don't know if Paramananda knows the story. I remember he came with a newspaper, a Dutch newspaper, and in this paper was a picture of the old wooden building ashram. And from that, we decided together with a group of devotees, oh, that looks beautiful. And we went to have a look. And then I sent a message to Muniraji about the project, that we were enthusiastic for this project. And he sent back a telex, buy the property immediately. So it was financially an incredible challenge, but managed to do it. We bought the property, and from there it started. At that time, Raghuvi was my neighbor in The Hague, and Anthony was also sometimes there, and Paramananda, who's now in Poland, he was also staying in the back in my house. So from there, the energy moved, and then Martin Baba got involved. The whole Buri family, Buru played a very important part, because together with him, we have been looking for properties for 3 years, driving through Holland to find the correct property. But okay, now I think that's a lot of stories. We ended already in Lune, and we are very happy with the place. Of course, we went through the fire after, I think in 90, end of 90, 91.
94.
90. Yeah, we bought.
94 was the fire.
Yeah, no, 94, the fire?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, in 94, the whole place burned down, this beautiful wooden building, but it was a normal building. So it had a relatively, the living room was the temple, and the kitchen was too small. So in one way we were very lucky. The whole place burned down in 94. And then in 96, it got reopened in the ashram where the people are now sitting in the kitchen. And only in many years later, we were able to build the temple, where the group of people is now also sitting. That came again much later, and another project, because first that was not allowed by the government to have two buildings. We had to make everything in one building. So the old temple is now the yoga hall. So we have quite a beautiful setting at the moment, but we had to go through a huge fire to achieve this. So. Wow. And there's a lot of other stories around it, but that's not so interesting. But I find it quite magical that even financially we went there, because like we bought the property for about 700,000, you can say guilders at that time, or dollars. But from the insurance, we got more than $1 million after it burned down. And that was really magical that we were able to pursue, that they had to go really to the bottom and pay for a lot of money so we could build a beautiful building with a lot of working on our own. But at that time, it was very much the basic group. I want to give the word to those people who were there in the beginning, like Raghu. Boerekan was very important. Buri, Martin Baba was there from the very beginning, and Bhaskar and Paramananda. So I would like to go, Anthony, and yeah, there were Kakuli was there. There were 10 people I missed. We had a group of about 20 people in the meeting that said, yes, this Luna is the perfect place. Let's do it. And Hengpon Singh is somebody who also skipped in a lot and gave a big support to get started. We had luckily a very strong group of devotees, who were able to manifest it together. But I would like to give the word to Paramanand, if you're willing to say some things about this beginning time, what you remember of how it went, how you got involved with Babaji. That is interesting, and how you got inspired to help to go to build up the ashram. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Do you remember that starting?
Yes. It was a very nice time. It was very funny to meet this whole Babaji group. I had a vision of Babaji in Indonesia, Bali, and I was writing to the Samaj, and I never got any answer. But on a good day, I remember I was meeting your former wife, Mohini Pujari, and she put a little baby Mira on my lap. And when she came back, of course, Mira was crying. But I saw a bracelet on Mohini's arm. I didn't know Mohini at the time at all. And I asked, what is that? And she said, that's Om Namah Shivaya. And I said, oh, that's the mantra I got in a dream in Bali. And so she said, then come in a few days or weeks, because Muniraj is coming. This is, the man who followed up from Babaji, and let's meet. So I met Muniraj, and I got very inspired by all these meetings, and maybe that's I started to help all these endeavors of creating an ashram. I like the idea very much, and to be honest, I was flying and inspired, and it was one big, beautiful energy. And it's very nice to talk about it and be together and have a nice few good, sweet memories. I like it. I remember there was a lot of enthusiasm by all the devotees, like Pujari mentioned, 20, 30 devotees who are starting this ashram. And I think we didn't think about time, we didn't think about money, we didn't think about anything except for realizing some goals which Babaji wanted us to do. I remember also beautiful dreams. In Sadhu Sivadam, I was often dreaming that Babaji was with us. In one dream, he smoked a cigarette with us. It was very strange, of course, but it was very nice. I felt Babaji's spirit very, very strongly in Sadhu Sivadam. And I remember one dream I had with Babaji. I was very angry with Babaji. I said, you know, I could have met you in the body. And I was never there in Herakan. And all these guys met you. And he screamed and yelled to me, why did you need to meet my body? You don't need to meet my body. So, yeah, I still wasn't very happy with it. But later, after a few years, I realized this time at Sadhu Sivedam with all these nice brothers and sisters of Herakan, this was my time in Herakan, my time with Babaji, and I enjoyed it very much. And I'm so happy the ashram is flourishing. I'm always happily coming back, and I think it's going to a next stage. It will be a publicly very well-known place where many people can find spirit independent of their beliefs or politics or other convictions. They will feel his energy and get blessed in their lives.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Paramanand. Maybe Bhaskaranand also wants to join because he was also from the very beginning, maybe not immediately, but shortly after Paramanand joined the Ashram team. And he was an all-round seva. That is really the quality from Paramanand. He doesn't matter if you do puja or fire or cooking or cleaning. He is an incredible seva. So he helped in many ways. And Bhaskar is another person who also was already used to do service, and he fell in place in Sadhu Sivadam, and he's still serving there. So maybe you want to say something, how you got involved with Babaji and why you're still there, Bhaskar.
Oh. Well, I at the moment, you can hear me?
Ja, maar je moet iets met een beeld.
Oh.
Zo. Ja, ja.
Okay. At the moment that Paramanand met Mohini on the Pancake House, I was also there. We were 3-4 people, and in fact, we got this inspiration from Babaji at that time, direct from Herakan, you can say. We got that in The Hague, and then a few weeks later, Muniraj came. And but the first sign I had from Babaji was already in 74, when I read the book of Yogananda, Autobiography of a Yogi. And then I read this one chapter about Babaji, and I was, oh, this is a being, it's far beyond. So it's far beyond. So it's not for us, or what you can say. And then in 88 or 89, we saw this green book of Babaji that was much more concrete, with all the pictures and the beautiful sayings from the Upanishads and other scriptures. And then later on we met this Mohini, and we met Pujari, and we and then the ashram was found, and I joined the ashram. I had no steady work at that moment, and I come to the ashram and started to do my work, my seva, and also Mahadevi was there at that time. She also joined in very early, and yeah, what happened after? It was, the energy was incredible in the beginning. Yeah, there was there was more unity than division. And when you are a long time in the ashram, sometimes looks like division is more dominating, and sometimes unity is more dominating. You go through all kinds of stages. And but the energy of Babaji is always there. If you feel, if you can connect, you feel always that the energy of Babaji is there. Sometimes very concrete, sometimes very abstract, but it's there. And yeah, you feel inspired to go on. And we had also beautiful moments on Melas. It's I remember the Mela of 2002 and the 10 year of Satsang, and later all the European Melas. Well, this was all the Guru Purnima. I think the main thing what's inspiring me is the energy which I can connect to, and that the energy of Babaji. The first thing when I saw a video of Babaji was that I got connected with the energy which I knew already. It was like coming home or recognizing the energy which was triggered by that video by Babaji. Bole Baba ki jai.
And I'd like to hear, I mean, it's like Raghu and Pujari, when you came home from Harakan, because you'd been with Baba, Bori was already sort of organizing as well, and maybe Karkuli anyways, but I'd love to hear from, Raghu also and Pujari, just sort of that, what did you feel in your heart?
In life in general, or about the ashram? Whatever.
About this ashram, what was that feeling?
In Holland, from my view, it was but I came back out of India in '85, but I lived in Italy. I went to live in Italy, and I came to Holland, of course, often. But Bori had just expanded in an enormous way by taking this building in Amsterdam, and it was sort of like a dream where she was having one floor and one son was having a floor and one son was having another floor, and there was a whole floor for Babaji for making a temple. And that was actually a dream which they had already been working on for some years. And most of the devotees were also in Amsterdam. So I didn't really see the need for an ashram. I did go with Pujari a few times also here and there, but it was just also nice for us to hang out for a day or two and drive around. But I didn't see so much the need personally, because when I was traveling, when I went to Italy to these different places wannabe ashrams, there were immediately 50 people. There were lots of devotees. In Holland, to get 10 people together was already full house. So I put my energy personally on when I was just in the beginning, when just before the ashram was chosen in Holland, where the Sadashivadam, and I started to build up a place in Italy, Pajala, in the middle of Italy. And then Pujari came with this, just as I had. Of course, this building, which the Sadashivadam did, the original building, this wooden building in the middle of nature, it was too beautiful to be true. Even the background of Pujari, if you look at him now, you see all these logs. That whole building was built of logs, or was made of logs, and it was beautiful. It was too beautiful to be true. And it's been a very interesting ride. Yeah, I mean, I'm still feel very connected to the Sadashivadam, and even when I'm not there, I think about it just about daily, or what I could do and stuff like that. But it is so strong, the situations which we have been through the years, and the fire which was mentioned before was such an incredible experience. The day after we came back from India, I remember, Pujari, it was the day after we came back from Navaratri and tired after the trip. We finally went home, went to sleep, and the next morning Anthony called me up at 5 o'clock from the ashram burned down. I didn't believe it for a second, but when he told me 10 times and nothing else, I started to believe it, and it was, yeah. But all interesting because it became more beautiful than we could have even imagined, and also made to measure, because the other one was just a very big kind of villa, but this was, now we could have rooms and a temple and a kitchen where everybody could be, and etc. etc. It is just definitely the whole thing shows that Babaji's hand is in the whole development and the buying of the whole place, from before we had it until the future.
Yeah, I can add a little bit there, Raghu. It was a beautiful sharing. I remember that in 85, I was in 84 still staying at the Gufa site for some time. And then there were so many problems in Hirakan. I often went to Muniraji, and then Muniraji kept me at his house so I could stay with Muniraji for a long time. And in 85, he sent me back really with a mission. He said, no, Pujari, you're not going to stay in India. You go to your country. Your karmas are good. You're going to start your business and you will make an ashram for Babaji. And I must say, it is only thanks to Muniraji that all this place materialized and all the group was behind it. But Muniraji said, no, you have to really do it. And it was only in 85, I started my first shop. And when that got established, Muniraji called me back to India, said something important will happen. Then I got married to Mohini. And then from there, it started to change. I got married and then I started my second shop and my third shop, looking around mostly with Buru through the country to find a place, but we didn't have enough money. We only thought for an old monastery for a few dollars we would buy, but that was not possible. So I worked for some years until almost 1990. And Muniraji, it was in a meeting in Schwalbenalp, some 2 years before that he said, now you really have to make an ashram, because I got very involved with my business, selling discs and music. He said, now you really have to make an ashram. So then we got together with a group of people and really started to look for it. And luckily my business was taking off very strong. So I had slowly funds to really think of something. And then it was actually my brother who said to me, now you really have to do it, Pooh. Even you borrow some money, but this is all you want in your life. And that was the motivation to say, okay, I will give everything I have and I will borrow money, but we're going to get this done, because it was a very challenge to financially meet the needs for that wooden building. But of course, now we are very happy that it all happened. But I wanted to mention that this Muniraji really put me on the job. And I remember that meeting with the Dutch devotees and Muniraji in Schwalbenalp, that they really put me as a leading force on, you really have to do this now. And then it came about. So it was I see many things are magically beautiful. Also, I want to after the fire, which was in 94, then the whole place burned down, but it was already planned that Muniraji and entourage, and with 4 or 5 people would come from India. That was already planned. But at the end of April, I believe 30th of April, the whole thing burned down and we had no ashram. But Muniraji and entourage, they were still coming because there was a whole tour planned. We go to Switzerland, to Italy, to here and there. And I even organized the whole tour. So it was a very big thing. And at the same time, we were having 300 people in Holland coming and there was no ashram. We only had the Duni outside and a little building where Hari Priya is staying at the moment. That was a barn. That was the only building we had. And the small Duni was ready. So we had to put up only tents for the temple, for the kitchen, for the neighbors. We had the hotels, and it was a hilarious thing that we had like a Kumbh Mela. We had nothing. We only had tents and toilets outside. Everything was super simple. And we had no building. Only a Havankund and a little shed where a few people stayed, and a caravan where Paramananda stayed, I remember. It was such an hilarious start. But I like what Bhaskaranand said. We were in another dimension. We were so happy that we had a place where we could stay. And the building up from this new ashram was also in a beautiful energy, very harmonious, very everybody participating, helping. we were like happy like children. And that was a very beautiful start of the ashram. So that's what I wanted to add to the introduction of how it came about. And I don't know if Burukan wants to jump in at this point, because the Buri is a very important part with Buru and Burukan, who always have been very involved with Babaji. And at the moment, Burukan is the chairman for the ashram. And I stepped down a little more than a year ago because I'm hardly there in the last few years. I'm mostly in Russia. So maybe Burukan wants to say something more about how his maybe connection with Babaji, how that started, and how he got inspired to put so much energy into Sadasivadam. Are you there, Burukan?
He doesn't seem to be on his screen, and he's muted.
Okay.
So maybe we'll come back to him unless somebody.
Maybe we go to Kakuli, if Kakuli wants to share something, because she has met physically Babaji and has been also a strong woman devotee with incredible stories with Babaji. But what about Sadasivadam? I don't know what she wants to share, but anything about Babaji or your devotion or the ashram. Is Kakuli there?
Kakuli is here. You need to unmute, baby.
Yeah, on the left down corner, there's a button on your screen.
Yes.
Good.
There you go. Hi, Kakuli.
Okay, and then I have something, your video for everyone. You would like to unmute. Oh, okay. Unmute, I see. That's done. Yeah, okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Well, I was pondering about how it came about, my meeting of Babaji's calling, because he did everything on a very personal base. And well, when I went to India for the first time in 1979, I went to Goa with my small children, 2.5 and 5, and we were going to go on a stay in Goa for 2 months and then go to Indonesia, where I was born. And so we landed in Bombay, it was at the time. And when we went on the plane to Goa, there was this very clear voice in my head that said, in Dutch, but it said, you have to be north. So I thought, this is funny, this voice, because I wasn't used to hear a voice like that. Anyway, I went, the time went, and then via Mieke, a booklet of Leonard Orr came to our attention, Henk and mine's attention, and we were here. And a friend of school was going to render my walls. I'm still in the same house, was rendering my walls. And with him came a friend, and that was Anthony. And Anthony at one point blurred out Babaji. And so our attention was very much caught, because this Leonard Orr, that booklet, it was a very clear story. And he said at the end, if you have a bucket list, then I advise you to put a visit to Babaji and Hirakan on the top of your list. So that was, the events went quickly after one another. So then he told us that there was a little group of people, and there was arti being done every Monday at Boeri's house in the Rozenstraat. So Henk and I went there, and it was a small room and a bit dark, and this altar there. And I thought, this is all very strange. But this music, which wasn't really top, you know, those little cassettes, that music touched my heart. And that is how my journey continued. And then that was in 82, like in April, May. And then I heard that with Christmas, you didn't have to write to Babaji to ask permission to come, for him to receive me. So I thought, that is good. Then I can just sort of look at all this from a safe distance. So we went, and it was quite a big group. Well, Hank and I went and stayed in Delhi for a while and went to see these holy places. But we all met up in Haldwani at this Kailash hotel. And there was Burkan, and there was Buri, and Burkan's wife. Oh, what's her name? And in fact, later I heard that little Daniel was already in her tummy. So he'd been there, in fact, as well. And we were there. And I got terribly ill. And there was this French boy with very long hair, pacing up and down. Was he going to go? Wasn't he going to go? Would he believe the story? Didn't he believe the story? And it went on all night. But I really felt absolutely horrible. And then Pujari came and he said, take this. This is called Vibhuti. And I took it, and it was not very fine Vibhuti. It was rather crunchy. I crunched it. and swallowed it. And the next day I felt fine. So I could come with the whole group to Herakan. Also, Marie-Lou de Heer was there. She passed away last year. That was quite an adventure. It was exciting. Marie-Lou was slow, so we ended up at the very end of the whole group. And so we came to the ashram, to Hanuman Kund there, as last person. So all the luggage was already had arrived already. And then I know it, like there was this voice, and I didn't know at the time, but I heard it clearly that I had to be north, and there's where I was now. There was this shepherd with 6 goats, and I'm a goat, I'm Capricorn, and my number is 6. And he could have gone there, and there was space enough, but he came and walked right in front of me. And I really felt here, this is a personal welcome. Here, this is me, somebody knows. Well, it felt like a welcome anyway. So it was magical going through the river. Oh, how fantastic that was. And I was first of all shown a place to sleep on the Gufa side. And it was really a grotto. I thought, oh, well, okay. But soon afterwards, I was told to go up the stairs, and there was administration, and somebody mentioned the kirtan hall, and I said, what is kirtan hall? And then everybody said, you have to ask Babaji, you have to ask Babaji first. And there he was, maybe standing 7 meters away from me, and I looked straight in his eyes, and I just stood there, and I repeated, I said, I don't know what kirtan hall is. He didn't see anything. And then everybody started to shout, you have to make pranam first, you have to make pranam first, which I didn't do. I really felt sort of like a Jewish person, standing straight, not bending down, and I looked at him, and he left afterwards. So that was my very first meeting of Babaji. It was, yeah, and what an impression all this whole ashram was. What a beautiful place. I must say I felt at home quite soon, which was also nice. It was incredible. I was in awe of this man, Babaji, because they were said to me that that he knew your everything, and that was scary. But I thought, if that is the case, I will try it out. So in my mind, I said, well, first of all, he was handing out these kind of cloth. Velvet cloth, orange or red. And then, I mean, I thought, in my head, I said, I want to have red. And so I got a red one. And this Christmas, some people already know my story. I really was impressed with all these malas. And Babaji had big malas on. And I thought, oh, I would very much like a mala like that. And this Christmas, it was a big tent being put up on Riverside. There was still lots of space. And then suddenly he called me and he said, "You lady, I know there were two Black Army. Oh, I can't remember the names." And then Babaji left. And then then somebody said he's going for a pee. And that made him very human suddenly. Anyway, they wanted to send me back. And I said, no, I'm staying here. Babaji called me. So he came back, took a while. And then I made Pranam and took his one big mala and he gave it to me. So I thought, wow, that was the proof that he was inside of me. I mean, well, it took a while to really get used to that. But yeah, the kirtan singing was nice, the pujas were nice, everything was incredible. And I was supposed to leave just after Christmas to go to Nepal, but I was in my moon, I couldn't ask Babaji. So I thought, I'm staying here, this is my home now. So he went on to Nepal. I never went to Nepal ever. But Babaji, he made the one thing he made very clear, because I liked my hobby was photography, so I had to ask him whether I could make photos. And he actually always said yes on whatever I asked. Not that I asked very much, but making photographs, and the first time, I don't think many people have seen these first pictures. He was majestic. Kali was standing next to him, and that Kali I remember particularly. But after, then you make this picture of Babaji, and then I think, oh, that is a nice Kumaran man, a face, and that is another. And then he would immediately stop. He says, enough. And that happened several times. And the last time, I think I made the last pictures of his morning Havan by his kutir. Well, yeah, I think most of you have seen them. Although they're a bit grainy, I didn't use flashlight. And also that was amazing because Babaji sort of disappeared in one of two of these pictures. It was afterwards. I was the last, that was not the first visit, that was the second visit. And I was there with my children. They were 7 and 9 then. And it was, we left, and Babaji left his body 3 weeks out. We were home 3 weeks when I heard that Babaji left his body. And when I saw my photographs back, I thought, wow, quite amazing. A light, beams of light behind the Nandi, an empty asan, these pictures of the Havan, where he disappeared, and where he also told me after 12 pictures, when I widened the screen, he said to stop. So Babaji, the last thing he did to me is sending me away. We were in Haldwani with my children, and I didn't know he had the Westerners for darshan with lunchtime. So I went in the evening and for Indian persons. And as at the time, I had a relationship with Karku. I was there, and my attention also went to Karku. So he sent me away. I felt it wasn't like I'm going to send you away and this is a punishment. I felt this, I'm going to be sent away because I don't focus on Babaji solely. And that is the biggest message he's given me. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, things happened in between, of course. But yeah, Babaji, that was the first visit. I was working the Duni, and then I suddenly had this cheerful voice, my own voice, saying, "Oh, I'm going to greet my guru." So on my bare feet on these awful little stones, I went to see him, and he sat next to a building, little hut. I don't think it is there anymore. And he said, "Come and sit next to me." And I sit back shoulder to shoulder. And it was also sort of, yeah, if you were spontaneous, you were going to see me. Nothing was between you and me. And so, yes, you can sit next to me. And I felt, oh, I should do something, because there was this Kumaran man going to massage his legs. They were also so friendly and so close to him, the mountain people. I enjoyed that very much. Yeah. And well, yeah. Of course, my birthday is on the 2nd of January. And nobody knew the first time that it was my birthday. So after my morning bath, which I loved at 4 o'clock, I mean, that was such a gift. That was such a feeling of being in the here and now and in eternity. I think of that quite a lot. And if it's cold outside and I think, oh, it's 2 degrees, I went down to have this bath in the Gautama Ganga. How fantastic. Anyway, there was the Havan, there was the Duni, and then I went back I stayed at the women's dormitory under Babaji's kuti, which was huge, and it was packed underneath there. And then I found on my pillow, I found this card, Babaji with a drum. And it was a card that was used because there was a pinhole in it, but nobody ever said, "Did you like the card?" No idea. So the day went on and I did do my karma yoga by the shop, and I was sweeping and I was on my own, and then suddenly Babaji came on his own, and he had a flower mala, and he gave me this flower mala around my neck. And I thought, well, I mean, I didn't ask for that, but that was, I thought, oh, how fantastic, he knows it's my birthday. And the birthday after, in 84, I asked Babaji, can I do puja for you? And he said, yes. And then also I did this puja. I prepared everything. The water and the arti lamp and everything was prepared, and I had to wash his feet, and I picked up the lota and the water was too hot. I said, oh, it's too hot. And then Nat came and he poured some cool water in it so I could wash his feet, and so put it dry and put it chandan. It is such a close, so it is kind of so special to be so close to him. And then people said, don't close your eyes, keep them open. And then Babaji he was sitting in his Murti form. He didn't look at me, he looked sideways. And it has always sort of, I thought, why did you look away? That was my first feeling. And it is actually only recently that I also connected that actually because of Gayatri's story. Because Babaji didn't even turn up physically when she was allowed to do the puja. I thought, he was not neglecting me or not wanting to see me. He was looking away. He was looking away. He was sort of gone. Yeah, that took a while before I thought, that was one of the other signs of him letting know that he wasn't going to be there. I couldn't have known at the time. Yeah.
Burakan came back in the meantime also, I see.
Sorry. Say that again.
I see that
Burakan is on his place. So if you slowly close your session, then it would be lovely if Burakan jumps in and speaks something about his experience of Babaji and how he got involved with the ashram or whatever you want to share. We were calling upon you, Burakan, but then you were not in the screen, but now you're here. Can you speak some things about your experiences with Babaji and whatever other experiences or?
Put a notice there that I would be back at this time because I had to close down my store in between. So, but all right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was just joining to here, and I don't feel on this moment that that I have much to share.
I think you do.
Who's saying that?
Gayatri.
Gayatri.
Come on, Chairman.
Yeah, I think so too, Burakan. You came as a boy. You met Babaji as a boy.
Well, really?
Didn't you?
Yeah.
When did you go? Also in 1982, Burakan, for the first time to India?
No, it was a few years earlier.
Earlier, right.
It was in 1980 in the summertime.
Acha.
And
did you go with Guru?
very nice silent time with very few people on the ashram. And,
How old were you?
I was 18.
Wow.
Really?
And what was it like having all these devotees in your house and your mom dragging you to India all the time and this whole guru scene for you?
When I was 14, I met a chemical engineer, and he withdrawn from his work, and he was an imker with bees. And besides that, he was making electronics like acupuncture machines, but he was living very simple, and he had a big picture of Babaji from Yogananda's book. So I saw Babaji already in these years, in a way, and it was a very inspiring person, like living very simple. And well, he had two small monkeys from India. They were fun. But first time I came there, there was another man lying on the floor with all kind of electronics on his head. So that he just made a machine for measuring brainwaves. So, and this was an author of many books, which was lying on the floor to experience what it could do. But actually, he was already very inspired with Babaji's form from Yogananda's book. But I was young, and when Buri was one time with Babaji, she was thinking about me, and then Baba said, "You bring your son," and she had 3 sons. Buru, you also know, but she was thinking about me, so I was invited to come to India, and I was not so planning to stay there for long. I wanted to travel to Nepal, you know, it's in this, but yeah, but it was a very, very quite a journey in the rain time, and I know then when in this time you had to reconfirm your flight with Air India. So Boris, he went in and I was waiting outside and it was so hot. The first thing when you walk out of the airplane, you think, wow, what is this? This hot towel in your face. So I saw a thing with, it said fresh water, a big aluminium car with water. So I was drinking the water and my mother, she came running out, said, no, don't drink that. So it was a kind of, yeah, to adapt to India. In these times, it was even, yeah, very simple. So when we came to Demside, it was very rainy, and there was a porter also named Raghuvir, and he would carry our luggage to the mountains. And but Boris, she bought a lot of stuff in Haldwani, like lentils and all kind of food to take with her to Hirakan. So this was my first experience with a man who was taking all this luggage and the food, maybe 60 kilos on his own. He was guiding us to the mountains, and it was starting to rain so heavily, and it was really dangerous, like you would almost fall down. And even Raghuvir, he lost the slipper, and but he put the luggage on the after the stream, and he took our hands, and so we came finally at Hirakan, and then it was dry. And on that moment, Babaji was just crossing from the dam side to the stairs. So yeah, actually we just met down at the stairs, and Babaji's first thing he asked me was, "Are you happy?" And well, that was my first confrontation with myself, because I said, "I think so." Yeah, in your mind, you know, it was not but it was the very first lesson from Babaji, which I experienced. And then, I mean, for me, Babaji was, you know, I was very very good with machines, and so always when I traveled as a young boy, I had screwdrivers and a measuring machine and soldering gear and things like that with me. So someone came with a broken watch from Prem Baba, and so I fixed the watch for Prem Baba. And when it was known, next day Babaji said, "You start repair shop." So I had a small place on the roof at the backside of the ashram where there was a lot of building done. So I had a view on Babaji, and the workers quite a lot. And very soon it was piling up with very old transistor radios and all kind of stuff. And I had this place, and well, it was nice, but very lonely. So at the moment I just went down to see where the others were working, and they were all working down at the stairs to make the new wall for the what's it called now, Fakiri Bad. And then I mean, just joining the work with giving stones in a basket, giving it to the next one, and do the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And that's actually when I started to open my heart for Baba. It was really opening. So that was the first days.
And then I remember you coming with your children in Burangili. For those who don't know, Dan is well, I don't know where he is on your screens, but he has a cap on, and that's his beautiful son.
Hello.
Yes. And you were your son's age when I met you in Heracon, but I remember you taking the children for baths and all these wonderful things there. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Daan was actually I was married in with Daan's mother in was it in 1982 at the end in the winter, I think. Yeah. So then she was already pregnant 6 months, 6 months I think, because Daan was born in May 83. So yeah, she was the mother from Daan was also even with her belly taking big stones and you know, very active and like Daan. So he was yeah. So when Daan was half year, then from May to in December, January 1984, 1983, Boeri, she wrote a telegram and she said, well, Babaji is not going to travel to the south and he's staying here. So this is time for you. Come now, immediately. So we had already booked the flight a week before. And then we got a call on 14 February from Sundar Singh that Babaji left his body. And we were already packed and waiting with small Daniel, baby. But we, of course, we left the next day and yeah, hurrying, traveling, taking immediately the bus from Katkari station. Katkari station, what's the name? And then taking and then walking from them side to the ashram. A lot of people were just returning from the ceremony, from Babaji's burial. So we arrived just a few hours later with Daan. And it was a difficult time then. A few days later, all the army came in from the governor. But as usual, when the army left, it started to rain again. And the ashram was cleaned again. And yeah, but these were very sad times. But beginning from a new area, and then of course it was very nice that Muniraj came in, and he taught us also so much.
Since I don't know how much time we have, is it good that we pass it also around a little bit, Kailash and Aradhana, which are a couple of pillars of Sadashiva or Daan maybe, or some different voices?
Sure.
True.
Thank you. I'm so appreciating hearing everybody's story, but it's true. You need to, there's a lot just to share, but thank you. So good to hear your story, and Karkuli's I hadn't heard, so go ahead. So Raghu and Pujari and Bhaskar, you introduced who should be sharing next about their inspiration, and so we get to
Kailash and Aradhana, they have come shortly after, as soon as the ashram was there, more or less, and they have been pillars ever since they came of the Sadashiva. So it's maybe nice also to listen to. Everybody knows them, I imagine. They've been everywhere. Maybe you have something to share.
To share, yes. Yes, I could share something. We came the first time in 92, and but actually stayed here more after the building was burned. then there was a lot of things to do. And through all these years, actually, it doesn't feel so heavy, because working for the ashram, when I work for the ashram, feels always very light, very. Most of the time, I feel grateful just to be here, and so yeah. If it comes to Babaji, of course, I came in '92, so I didn't see Babaji in a physical body. I saw him actually here in the Sadashiva Dham, and for me, the people talked about Herakan and how beautiful it was, but for me, many times it felt like, why should I go somewhere? In that time, I felt like everything is here at Sadashiva Dham. I don't need to go, but I remember Pujari paying for our ticket in that period, and we could go for a few months to Herakan, and for me it was incredible, like much concrete, but it felt like the love was pouring out of the concrete to my feet all the time. It was just incredible and beautiful. But now I'm here talking, but I think it's good to pass the ball to Satpal, because we just got somebody giving some of this green stuff, and you see it, people.
Yeah, we see the garden stuff, little vegetables or plants.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, and this is also about what's going on in the Sadashiva Dham. There's always growing. There's always movement, how small or big. Just what Bhaskar said, different phases. But I would like to give the word to Satpal and his garden project. You could have, I think you've seen it on Facebook if you're on Facebook. But he could tell something about it. There's a big movement now going on the ashram, the garden.
Yeah, well, my connection with Babaji comes from autobiography of a yogi, and my family was a close friend of Raghuveer. So I went to Herakan a long time ago, 24 years ago. Now, it was kind of what I understood karma yoga, and making the temple beautiful was one of the things to do. So I kind of put it, working on making this whole place like a heaven on earth is my kind of input for the moment. And transforming the whole area around the temple, because there's like a lot of ground belonging to the temple. That is where I'm putting my devotion into. And getting a lot of help from a lot of people all around. So every weekend now there's a whole group. We planted 6,000 trees so far, and are busy with creating a permaculture garden, and improving the whole biodiversity of the whole area around the temple, and having a lot of fun doing it. Afterwards, everybody is joining the arti and singing bhajans, and it's a really nice vibe. And very grateful to have such beautiful time here in doing this.
That's
You're
fantastic.
doing great.
Yeah, we are so lucky to have this inspiring person in the ashram. Satpal said, we thank you from all our heart that you bring this aliveness, and that's really what Baba's message, to keep it active and participate, community, connect with everybody. Beautiful. From a distance from here that I see it really happening. Love you so much for all your devotion, what you're putting in. And also, Aradhana, maybe your next you want to share. You've like since you stepped in the door of Sadasivadam, you've been a servant.
Yeah, actually, well, I don't have so much to share.
Wow.
I am no, sorry. if I have to start thinking about what, and so I am blocked. So, but you were sharing about the time that you were with Babaji, and my special time. It was out. Yeah, it's coming out actually of the whole period is the time, Pujari, that there was nothing here, just the duni and the kitchen where we did all, and we sang together most of the time with the three of us. It was so amazing. It was really, yeah, that is something that is really in my heart. So yeah, that, and I'm doing my karma yoga, and I am very glad to support place because I love the place. I love the place, and Babaji. I never met Babaji in the reality, but the more and more he is a part of me. He is not something outside of me anymore, but he is a part of me in my life. I carrying him with me in my heart. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. And I do remember those early years where we sing in the Duni. The fire is such a magical place. It doesn't matter if it's in India, the Mahashakti Duni, or our Duni in Sadasivadam. I have the same deep devotion and deep connection with everybody. If you sit in this place together and sing, you transport yourself in another loka and you become one with Baba. It is such a blessed time we had. Luck of our life, and that's the same for Paramananda. I think also he can relate to that. Where else can we go? Maybe Dharmananda. You're carrying.
Yeah, the third generation. Wow, man.
Generation. Yeah, he is carrying the bhajan and keeping the dunya alive. Not afraid to go all night kirtan. No problem. Can you share, or you want to share some things about your experiences with Babaji, the Duni, Sadasivadam, your family?
Yeah, what I do really think it's also a lot in the community of working together, creating a beautiful space together, a space of love. And this is through hard working, and also I'm very much inspired, of course, by chanting. And I experienced this also during the melas when I was young. Or when I was young. Now I'm 38. I'm 38 already, man. I'm not that young anymore. But when I was 21, I came to Herakan, and I experienced every year a Mela, Navaratri, and it was such a beautiful time that I spent there, and totally opening up and coming in this space of love. And the space of love is everywhere. You only have to open up to it, and that's what for me this community did in this during these melas, but also the quiet times. A couple of times I've been there in Herakan, and it was quiet also with Muniraji around in Chilianola and Herakan, and it was also very beautiful. So much quietness and a simple life, back to really simplicity, doing very simple routine. And yeah, that's so cleansing the heart, and the mind. And that's, I think, what Babaji also would mean this community for, you know. And during the melas also, we had last 2 years ago already, because of the corona, we didn't have this mela last year. But during the Bhakti Festival last time, it was like this explosion of, like a big explosion, like a kernbom, weet je? It's atomic bomb, but then the mantra bomb, you know, it was like blowing everybody is out, you know, everybody was blown away and opened up, and it was such a beautiful space of love, and everybody was looking at each other, you know, like, or most people like were just wow, you know. And this is, it can be like that, you know, and this is what we have to work hard for, I think, to create, to come to this unity and to make that possible. Om Namah Shivaya, Bole Baba Ki. And this is the 4th generation.
His son Noah, beautiful, beautiful. Maybe we go to Bhaskar or to Annemari. I see Annemari is still there and Prem is there and Giridhar is still there. If you can say a few words, Bhaskar, or start with Annemari and Prem and then go to Giridhar, then we have made a round. Are you there, Bhaskar?
Yes, I'm there, and I'm thinking maybe we should go to this time now. We are in a time of lockdown, and it's a time when it's even more important that we connect to Babaji's energy and share the Babaji's energy and come in the space of love, because there is the place where there's no lockdown. So we can find the no lockdown in ourselves, and we try here at Satsang to share it with a number of people as far as we are allowed to concerning the government regulations. But I think this is a time that we should keep in mind that Babaji is still there in the same level of love and bliss like he has ever been before. Only we have to find it in a little bit different way, maybe, just to, I feel more pushed to find it in yourself and then to share it. And share it in the way we are able to now with these modern techniques and other things. That's how I feel about the time now. And we are happy with that we are also not alone here in this ashram, that we have a few people who come regularly. And maybe they should also tell something like Annemari or Prem, Caro.
Yeah, I was wondering if Annemari, you can share a little bit of your experience with Babaji or the ashram, or how you feel inspired to connect.
Yes, well, I came here in Ashram, I don't know, it was maybe 15 years ago. And I saw a picture of Babaji before at a friend's place. And I was interested, but that was all. And I was always, whatever happened, I had inside a lot of resistance because I was very closed down, and I didn't want to open up. So, yeah, and then the first time I came, I just stepped inside the building of the ashram, I started crying. It was really like Bhaskar mentioned before, for me, it was really like coming home, and I cried so much, and I didn't know anybody, and I had a small room. So it was really like, but this is what I was looking for always. And I couldn't say what it was. It was the energy, and it felt like I had always been in a strange place all my life. And then I felt coming home. It wasn't a strange place to me, but still I was very, very closed, and my heart was totally closed. And so in silence and without connecting with people, I made a lot of, I made my own connection with Babaji, but I was always a bit like keeping him on a distance as far as possible. But he sometimes grabbed me in ways, in a dream, a very strong dream. I had a couple of very strong dreams, and it felt like yeah, he was helping me, and I had a hard time making decisions in my life, and then I went to it felt like I was had to go one way or the other. And so one way was Babaji and the ashram, and the other way was another way. And I connected with that too. And then I went to the Duni to pray and to ask for help. So he gave me a very clear answer, which I didn't understand at all. He said to me, you know, I was with these two ways, and he said, there's only me. And I was absolutely sure that was all I was going to get from him. But it didn't, and I went the other way. I didn't go the way of Babaji. So I went the other way, and somehow I had to do that. But he was all the time in my heart, and I had just, it was not much in the ashram, but I had my personal connection. And the dreaming kept on, and he was in my life, just in my heart. And also in Herakan, I came in Herakan. It was, my mother had just passed away 10 days before, so I also was very, very close. It was a couple of months, very hard time with her, and so that I think it felt like it was the most beautiful place on earth, but I really couldn't open up. I really couldn't. And so I was just experiencing everything from a distance. It felt like that. So I went on this other way for many years, and then I think last year it was really like Babaji saying, now you come. Really like that, now you come. And I felt so uncomfortable with that. But you know, I went to the ashram and it was closed down because of the COVID. And there was a lot of work to do in the garden. So I just could go in the garden and do my work, and just, nobody asked me anything. I could just be there. But Babaji was really so close all the time. And I felt I had to go in the kutir, and I had no questions at all, but it was like I felt like there was no escape. Like he just pulled me in, and then he made me feel what was meant with there's only me. So that was last year, and it was 10 years after he had told me that he could do me. So then it was really like I was in the kutir and just breathing and being with him, and then it showed me so clear, there's only me, and it's so hard to put it in words, very hard. But I heard other satsangs, I hear people say, and then I know it's like the same I had in this kutir. So then it came this total opened up, and I had this peace, inner peace, and opening up, and so everything's fine. And it was really like I went home, and then I thought, for the first few weeks I will not go to the ashram. And then I came home, and the first thing I was doing was packing my bags to go as soon as possible again. And I said, Babaji, what are you doing? Like, there's no escape. And I think, yeah, I'm very happy. And I think now I feel in the world there's so much going on, and also so much hard things and difficult things for a lot of people, for a lot of countries, but I really feel how vivid and how strong this place is for many people, and how like there's a new, very alive energy. This Babaji, really, Babaji is so strong. And maybe that's my personal experience, but I do ask people and they confirm it. So I think the energy is amazing, and it is a lot of work, but yeah, that's something that we cannot worry. And then after all the work, there's this beautiful arti, and it makes me so happy that then everything falls in the right place from the whole day, and then the next day starts over again. So it is amazing, and it's not easy also for Bhaskar and the people that live here to make everything work with this virus going on. But you know, Babaji is really working with that, and I feel total trust and faith in everything. So, Bole Babaji.
Yeah.
And the ambassador from the UK, the ambassador from the UK in Sadashivadam, you got something to...
Yeah.
I was thinking also, it's great how it just having these beautiful discussions, it brings up so much for all of us, such incredible memories, and I'm obviously no exception. And I remember I came for the first time 2011, so 10 years ago, already 10 years. Incredible how quickly time passes. I came with Tabla Tom and Trisha as a volunteer. Obviously, many of you were there at that time, and I was at that time living in the ashram in Glastonbury, in the chicken ashram, and somebody came with a picture of Babaji. It was the fierce picture with the, you know, almost like a North American Indian, the picture that's hanging in the lobby in the ashram. So I made this wooden picture frame and put Babaji's picture on behind glass, and I said, "Who's this?" And somebody said, "Oh, that's Karakan Babaji." Of course, I had no knowledge at all of that. And within a few days, Tom and Trisha came and said, "We're looking for some volunteers to go to the Sadashiva Dam to help with the construction work." And obviously, as you know, at that time I was very much involved in just being a carpenter and a lifetime in construction. I was very much involved in extending the Dooni, working together with Pujari, together the Hanuman Shrine, anyway, many things we got involved in. But the memory that really just came back to me just a few minutes ago is that many times previously I had a reoccurring dream of seeing this long corridor or lane with these tall trees either side, and at the end of the lane was just a ball of light. And many times when I was driving my car in the UK and I was in that similar situation, this dream would come back, but I always knew it wasn't the right place. And then the time that we came, Tom was driving and I was in the car with Tom, and we came to the top of the lane and I saw the trees and the light was at the end of the lane, and I knew instantly that this was where, so similar, we have these callings, you know. And then, as you know, the temple was finished. Muni Raj was unable to come because of his ill health at that time, and Lal Baba had set up a Skype video call similar to what we're doing now. And I had no knowledge of Muni Raj. I'd never met Muni Raj, only been here for just a couple of months. And there, sure enough, was Muni Raj on this live stream, frozen. And I looked at Muni Raj and my eyes were streaming with tears were flowing. And I knew I had to go for the first time. I had to be with Muni Raj in India. And sure enough, I rushed back to the UK. I got my visa. With Hari Priya together, we flew. And Raghavesh said, "Prandas, no, don't go to India. You're crazy. This is monsoon. You get eaten alive by the mosquitoes. The ashram is empty. Wait for Navaratri." I said, "No, I have to go. And I have to be with Muni Raj, and I have to get to India for the very first time." And then lo and behold, everything so smoothly. We got back to the UK, everything just fell into place. Came back here, flew with Hari Priya to Delhi, and then sure enough, we had Muni Raj's darshan, and then just a few days later, he left his body. So then I was standing on the side of the river in Haldwani watching. Muni Raj was on fire, and I was standing in the river, numb to his feet. There's all these hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of Indian men all standing on the side of the riverbank, and just myself there thinking, wow, how did this ever happen? Anyway, here we are, and 10 years later, we're still, obviously for that whole period, many, I don't even know how many. I think I've probably been here more than I have in the UK, I don't know. But every time I leave and come back, it's like I never left. So. And here we are now, sitting in the beautiful temple that we all worked so hard to create. Magical stories. So,
I see another pillar of the ashram which walked in. I see Hari there.
Hari Om. You want to say a few words, Hari Om?
He's not here.
And then in the other.
Oh yeah.
oh, Harry, there's Harry. He's in the darshan room.
Hari Om, he has a large Ayurvedic product distribution throughout Europe, and he's a long-time devotee of Babaji, the ashram and the spirit, but he is doing an incredible service with his Ayurvedic products, and he advises many people, he gives workshops, he's very well connected with many people in Europe, but he is also very well connected to the ashram. He comes almost every weekend. He loves the fire, he often prepares the fire, but maybe he wants to say himself a few words from what attracts you to this ashram and Babaji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, is mute on?
Yes.
You're on. Yes, hello here. On Shivai, everybody. What to say is, what is the inspiration to come to the ashram? That's already a long time ago. For me, the first contact was with Muni Raj Shasaji. The building was not there. There was an ape in a fire ceremony. And at that time, I was attracted by Muni Raj. Just like to see him, you feel his silence, and that have attracted me. So at that time, they have told us that a building will come. That is then Luna. We are sitting here now. You will get the message about it. At that time, I received a letter, and they invited me to come. That was for me the first connection with the ashram, with the building. At that time, I came for the first time. Was not. I like it very much to come, but not that I say. There's very strong attraction to Babaji. I came 2 or 3 times to the ashram, and then one time I came to the shop, and I saw the photo of Altair Baba, and that have a very strong impact on me. I go immediately in very deep silence, and also later on, it has repeated me a few times. If I think on him, then for a few days, who like even also not to speak. The silence was so deeply that I was aware that came in contact with him. From that time, we can say that it has happened already now 25 years, 30 years, I don't know when the ashram is starting. But anyhow, from that time, I came more, you can say, regularly, not every weekend, but you can say 1 time in a month or something like that. But then the building became a fire, and then we have to rebuild everything. So slowly, I came more times to the ashram, and then after a few years, you can say that come every weekend. And now at the moment, there's many things internally in my mind happening, and that's why I come now every day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. Twice a day. To the ashram, that's a good combination for my work. To do the business, and then I like to do this then the arti, and then in the weekend I do the fire ceremony. Dus ja, dus a little bit the story of Harry. So.
The story of Harry.
All right.
Well, thank you, Hariom. Maybe also Giridhar. It's Giridhar.
Pujari, yes, I would like to ask Giridhar to share his story. But you are going to Giridhar.
I'm sorry, I go because I have to go to.
No, I know you had to do the arti.
Yeah.
Arti.
Yeah.
As you're looking at your watch, so you hear me? You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you, Giridhar.
Okay. Hello, my name is Giridhar, and I met Babaji never. A lot of times I'm very angry that I never met him, but now the story comes. How I met Babaji and how I went to be a Babajist. One of the less people who is a Babajist. I came to the ashram in 2002, I think, with Arjen and Miriam from Texel.
Yeah.
Because I saw a picture in their house of Babaji, and I said, "Oh, that's a nice guy. He looks very good." And yeah, so I went with them to the ashram, and then I came and I thought, "Oh, that's not my way." And they believe in such a strange things, in that you're coming back after death, and a lot of things. But then I met Pujari, and we were talking about the ashram and also the business side of the ashram, and we walked around the building. And then he said, "You had to come with me home because I have something for you." And there happens the miracle. I went to his house. Pujari went to the cupboard, took 10 shirts of Babaji or 6 shirts of Babaji, and he said, "Make a choice and take one of the shirts of Babaji, kurtas." And I took one, and the moment I took a green one, and I picked it, and I dropped it immediately away, because I thought he makes a joke with me, because it was burning in my hands. It was totally hot.
Wow.
I couldn't take it in my hands because it was completely hot. You remember, Jari? And from that moment, I was with Babaji. So it starts. And next time I will tell you the continuing story of my life with Babaji. Okay.
I felt you had that connection with Babaji. I could, when we met, I met your eyes and I knew you are an old Babaji devotee. He has also very tradition with the American Indians. He is also half a medicine man and many other things. But when we met, something clicked and I saw his relation with Babaji, so I invited him and some miracle happened with the shirt of Babaji Akurta. Thank you for sharing that part.
It's nice. It's still on my altar, and thank you.
Who else we have? Is Lieve, do you want to share something about your experience with the ashram? Can you hear us, Lieve? Or who are there?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. So I'm not so much to say about the ashram in the Netherlands because I was only one time there. But yeah, it was a very nice experience. And soon as it is allowed to come back, sure I'm coming. Sure I'm coming to the Netherlands. It's only 2 hours driving from here, so it's not so far. But I can share my experience with Babaji. in 2005, I went with one other lady to Delhi. And there was a doctor, but I don't remember his name, but he was telling, if you go there next to the Hanuman temple in Delhi, there is a little street, and in a house there are living some people. When Mother Babaji is in Delhi, he stayed there. So we searched the house, we found it, and there was an old lady, a very old lady. She sat down on her bed, and she told the story about Babaji when he was there often in their house. And she said, if you want, you can go in his room. The room is still here, and you can sit there. Oh my God, that was really, I can't explain it. It was a darshan. I sat down and closed my eyes and tried to meditate, and it was like so heavy, strong feeling. So, and that, yeah, that was really for me, really, really something. And yeah, in the meantime, I had other gurus, but he's still the one. How to explain it? He's still the master of the master for me. Yeah.
Okay, Lieve, I think we have one more person, a yogini next to Satpal. Maybe you want to share something about your connection with the ashram and Babaji, and what is your inspiration to be so often in the ashram?
Well, I'm now visiting since 6 years, and I arrived here via a yoga weekend, and actually I do not really remember what the yoga weekend was all about, but I do remember the direct impact of the Aarti and of the Havan and the Duni, and my impression about the garden. And I thought, I want to work in that garden. And the first years I was too shy to come, and sometimes I planned it and I did not feel strong enough to go there on my own because I didn't know anyone yet. And but I overcame that and started to come sometimes only on Saturday evening for the Aarti. And then my first Shivaratri and Diwali, and so it started developing. And 3 years ago, I went for my first Panchkarma in Chilianaula for 3 weeks. And over there, I found the love for myself and for life. I found it back. And the last week was a week in Herakan. And that felt really like a miracle. And it felt really strong because I've never met Muniraji or Babaji, but I felt the energy. And yeah, like magic happened, and I came back with questions, and I started to ask those questions, and from there I started to come more often and more often. And while Corona time, the blessing of Corona time is that I do have a lot of, well, I do not have so much work anymore because I cannot teach, still cannot, just a little. So the present of Corona is that I can be a lot at the ashram. And I experienced the healing power of the ashram, being here, being connected, feels more and more like a family. And yeah, a very dear community. Yeah. In a nutshell.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I wanted to say a few words.
Please let me introduce Caro from Germany, who is here in 1 month.
She's still there.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. I just came here 2019, and how can I say? I didn't know anything, or not much, but I know that I have to come here. But yeah. So I was at the main road there, and I saw the building, but my GPS, my mobile phone, it didn't work anymore, and I didn't know how to come here. I just saw the temple, but I really didn't know how to come, and then I just walked over the field with a big bag, and then I stepped in the building. It was late summer with how can I say, a tank top. Very dirty shoes because I was running over the field. Yeah, and I also had to cross a neighbor, and the neighbor had something like, not a wall, but I had to climb over something with my bag. I had to throw it because I was like, it's so hot, I want to be there. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, and I stepped in the ashram with a tank top, very dirty shoes, very dirty bag. Yeah, but I stepped in, and my first feeling was, wow, I'm at home. Yeah, and I don't know, the first days, yeah, I felt very at home. And then my journey began. Yeah, I'm very new devotee, and then I came one time back here for New Year's Eve in 2019, and I also met Tino in this time. The young Pujari here, and I knew, okay, he wants to go to India, and then I just asked him, hey, you want to go to India? I want to go to India. It's our first time, hey, we can go together, and I had luck, he agreed. So we went together to India, and we had a very nice journey until Corona came. And then we had to fly back with an evacuation flight from the German embassy, and we had some crazy days in India because of the shutdown in India. It was really, every day was an adventure, and I was very afraid. And this time a lot of devotees tried to help us. This was very overwhelming. Thank you to everything, to everybody, because we got a lot of help and support in this time, because we were in a hotel and we didn't know how long we can stay, or if we had to go out and sleep at the street. It was crazy. Yeah, and so we went back, and Corona came in our life, and my life was completely restricted, and a lot of things, how can I say, before Corona I was very busy with cultural things and art things, and a lot of projects I had, and dance lessons, and everything was restricted, and I felt really bad. And I had also a lot of bad experience the last year during Corona time, where I felt more bad, and I ended up with, yeah, how can I say, feeling so bad every day. It was crazy. So I was happy when the day was gone, and I woke up in the morning, and my first thought was, oh no, another day. It was very hard this Corona year, and I tried to come here. 2 times I failed because someone was very sick in my family and couldn't come, or because of the Corona restrictions. And I was really at the point that I was, okay, I have no other choice. I have to go here. I have to go to my family. And now I'm here since, I don't know how long, end of February.
Yes.
And I'm very happy. I feel for the last year, I forgot how it is to love. And yeah, since I'm here, we love a lot, and I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful for every day. Every day is a gift, and I'm honest about the people here, Oscar, Anders, Seth, yeah, and Anandi, Amelia, all people who are here. Yeah, we do a lot here, Aradhana, yeah, everybody here, and I'm very thankful. Karkuli, I'm very thankful that I can be here, and that all people are so lovely to me and support me. And yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I can just say that Babaji saved my life, and this ashram also here. I love this place. Okay.
We have a waving Pujari.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well,
yeah,
There's a waving Pujari.
Saved all our lives.
Yeah.
it is I want to share a little story. We have to finish slowly up, but what come to me when Dharmananda was speaking about the love space, it was so beautiful. And he was supposed to speak about bhajan. And then I remember that one time I was playing a bhajan in front of Babaji with the whole group, a bhajan in the Kirtan hall. And it was, Hey Shiva Shankara, Hey Maheshwara, Dukkha Hara, Sukha Kara, Hara Hara Shankara. And Dukkha Hara, Sukha Kara means is take away the pain. Dukkha is the pain, take my suffering away. And Sukha Kara is give happiness, give us happiness. And then Babaji interrupted the bhajan, and he very strong started to shout from Dukkha Hara, Sukha Kara, as if I or we were singing it wrong. Like, and I felt, no, I'm not singing it wrong, but Baba gave the message that often in our heart we ask for pain. We are happiness. Deep inside we are happiness, but we are asking for pain in our life. Babaji very strong push that. He turned it around from be careful. You, even if you sing Dukkha Hara, Sukha Kara, it really, that is the message. But something magical happened in me that I saw that is many in our human structures, we asking for pain in our life instead of the happiness. That was a magical moment that I experienced. That we get all the time trapped in painful situation, and there's no need to go there, because if we go inside with Baba, we are in our happiness. And I see this happiness is shining through all the faces that I see in the beautiful Ashram Sadasivadam. It really brings a lot of happiness in my heart to see, wow, what a beauty, what a beautiful team, how Babaji picked all this. I wish I could be there at the moment with all of you, to share another Guru Purnima. So I really look forward to the next Guru Purnima, probably 2022. Raghu, we have to wait a little bit, but I'm longing to come back there. I hope this summer, somewhere in August, I hope to jump by, but it's so beautiful to connect with you all, even like this. And I wish everybody a lot of happiness, which is already there. That Dharmananda said, the space of love, it's inside us. It's really there. And Baba's with all of us, and I'm so glad that this ashram is functioning as a lighthouse for Holland. And thank everybody who participated somehow to keep this alive and lovingly functioning. Also, Gayatri, you did so much for inspiration for the ashram. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it's one of your favorite ashrams.
I want to take a moment to ask everybody if we could just do maybe if we could do a moment of silence for Marlene, because I noticed that Mike and Anthony and Ram, they're probably busy doing something for her this weekend. She passed away last weekend after a long and strong fight with breast cancer, and she's part of this beautiful Dutch family, and I just want to remember her and say a prayer for her. Yeah, Baba, take her in your arms and her family too. Yeah. And Buri, I don't know where you are, but you're not too old to get online. So next time we have to send somebody over to her house and get her in the picture.
Karkuli tried very hard. Thank you, Karkuli, for your help too.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And today is Gora's birthday also. So remembering Gora Devi too.
Yeah.
You want to enjoy a little arti?
Let's stay connected. Yeah.
We start arti.
Yeah, you have to start a live stream.
Maybe you want to join.
Maybe you want to join.
Een bhajan. Yeah?
We like to sing a bhajan with you.
Oh.
With you.
12 points from Denenkamp.
Wow.
Goed, gaan we eruit? Oh ja, hey. Kijk.
Is that going to work?
Ma.
Ramloti, maybe you can put Ma in the picture.
Yeah, thank you, Ramloti. Thank you for organizing
Can we
this.
have darshan of Ma before we close, Ramloti? Yes, let's
Thank
show
you.
Ma in all her glory here in Colorado. Here is Dhamma. Oh, yes. Yes.
I see her every day.
Yeah.
Here every day we do a meditation every day that we post, and also a discourse. And now we'll start Navratri with all of you.
Yes.
I just want to speak from my side how I'm seeing
Happy Ashram.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Happy Navaratri.
Happy Navaratri.
Happy Navratri.
Love you all. Love you all.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Jai Mahamaya ki jai.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Hey, bye-bye.